Dave, I'm sure it's been a welcome break without a game the last week or so. What has the week looked like for you?
Um, the weekend was good. It was a like a break from it, an opportunity for everyone to reset. So lads who needed a session on Friday had a session on Friday. The rest had Friday, Saturday, Sunday off and reset on Monday. And then this week's been an opportunity to work, an opportunity to work on us and the bits we need to get better at, and link them a little bit towards the weekend, because ultimately that's the most important bit, the game at the end of it. So it's been a good week. Bodies back outside, which again will only benefit us, and look forward to Saturday and Tuesday, which probably fall into the same conversation in terms of the games that we have ahead of us, and an opportunity for lots of players to get some minutes over the two games.
Yeah, and jumping straight into that, I know you hoped always to have 4 or 5 players back around this period. Who, if anyone, is back in contention now?
Yeah, it's the other way now, isn't it? It's there were too many names to remember, players that were injured because it was up in double figures. It's probably now too many to remember or name that are coming back, but certainly training wise, I'm going to miss some. I know I'm going to miss some, but Callum Connolly's been back out there, Lewis Fiorini's back out there, Beatty's back out there, Che's back out there, Teo's back out there, and the list sort of goes on. Certainly the ones that are in the treatment room are getting less and less. Even then, there's still Ryan Rydell's running, Sam Hughes is running, Macca's still continue with his running, although those aren't as close as maybe what it seems when they're out there doing sessions. But touch wood, only sort of positives. We said there'd be light at the end of the tunnel. We're a bit closer to light at the end of the tunnel. We're almost hopefully coming toward the end of that. And that then becomes a different challenge for us, a great challenge, because we have to leave and not have players involved in the squad, because the strength of this squad when everyone is fit is amazing. And that's a good problem to have, although one that does need managing in a certain way.
2 players you mentioned there, Lewis Fiorini and Callum Connolly, County fans won't have seen too much of yet. Both picked up injuries over in Pinatara, of course. What will they add to your squad?
No, I've not seen much of them yet either. They're lad quality, without question. Obviously, Cal came in early in pre-season and picked up the injury over in Spain like Lewis did. But I suppose adaptability to play in lots and lots of different positions for us. Fundamentally, he's really competitive, can play anywhere across the back line and play in midfield, be that as a sitter or as a destroyer type, or as a one that will use his energy and run forward. So in a small squad, when you need different profile of players for different positions, he ticks loads and loads of boxes. So again, his is one we can be, I suppose, a little bit less careful with. It was an ankle problem rather than a muscle problem, so he's a little bit short fitness-wise, but it'd be great to have him back involved. Lewis a little bit different with the hamstring issues he's had previously. We need to be a little bit more careful with him, but his quality is, again, undoubted. What he needs to do and what we need to get him to be able to do is produce that over the course of an extended period of time, and we feel that if we can do that, he'll give us a different profile in terms of whether it be players as one of the pocket players higher up, slightly different to a dribbling Jack Diamond or Jaden Fevrier or Louis Barry type, more of a 10, more of a pocket player that will be creative in terms of his shooting and his passing, but also can play deeper if we need to. So, as would be the case with all of Stockport County supporters, really excited to see him involved and see him where he's at and seeing how we can improve and seeing the impact that he can have on our team. So I'm the same as everybody else, really.
By the time this goes out, you'll have had the B team game against Birmingham at Edgeley Park. You've also got the Everton game next week. Presumably they're pretty ideal at this moment in time to build those players' minutes up.
Yeah, less so the B team game. So potentially Strett's involved in that game as an extra minute for him really, but not so much any others. More the younger players, more the lads who've been out on loan and things like that. But certainly the Everton game, like I say, the ones that are coming back are quite obviously short. They've played no competitive games since they've come back to training, and training will get them closer. But we need to be realistic about what we're doing. But I would hope that you would see a large amount of the names that I've spoken about previously in the game on Tuesday for certain to start, and possibly some involvement on the bench on Saturday. That will then hopefully get them closer to being able to be, I suppose, available to start and available to complete large portions of the game by the time we get to the Leyton Orient game. I think it's the following Saturday, but certainly we'll get them closer to where we need to be, and that'll be like I suppose a relief that we've managed to pick our way through this period. But just as there's a relief that way, then becomes an issue and a problem with selecting a team. But I say that's a good problem to look forward to.
Elsewhere, there's been the news that Louis Barry's been named the League One Player of the Month. In fairness, I think quite a few players from County could have been in contention for that award this month, but great recognition for him, and great when you consider that there's still a lot more to come from him.
Yeah, absolutely. Like with every individual awards, it's always going to be great for the individual involved. I think, as you say, the big thing around us in this part of the month is that Louis scored 3 sort of standout goals, if you like, which is always going to, I suppose, open things up for the media and stuff like that. But has been part of a really successful run for the team, and he's played like I say, an integral part, but along with 11, 12 other players, because we had to go with the same group right the way through. And at the end of August, to be sat with the best record in the league is not something to be sniffed at. So great for him. But I think testament to the work that's been done right across the board from the start of pre-season, even during the off-season in terms of the recruitment, to make sure that we can or could hit the ground running in what notoriously has not been a great part of the season for the club over the past few years. So got ourselves in a good position. Like you say, more to come, not just from Louis, from players across the board. So a good start, but that's all it is at the moment.
Saturday we'll obviously see Corey Dye go back to his former club. That was always going to be a big call for you, I suppose, in terms of your goalkeeper. You do have essentially 2 number ones this season. How pleased are you with the start that Corey's had so far?
No, I think he had a great start. I think he put a number around what would be success for him in terms of clean sheets. We kept clean sheets in the first 3 games. We conceded 1 goal, and 1 goal was a mistake, which he'll hold his hands up for. He saves that 8-9 times out of 10, which that's fine. The stuff where it has affected us in terms of his abilities is the in possession stuff and his calmness on the ball, and the ability to build and probably take teams into areas where they don't want to go, to allow us to then hurt them with the Louis Barrys and the Woods and Will Collar and those type of players. So yeah, been great. Obviously it was a difficult call at the start of the season around how we went, but we chose to go in that direction, and at the moment our decision's being proven right. That's not to say that things don't change over the course of the season. With Corey going back there, it's always a challenge, is it? I suppose it's an enjoyable one, going back to former clubs. The Crawley team of this year is very, very different from the Crawley team of last year that had the success that they had, because whether expected or not, a lot of their players were picked off by other teams who recognised the talents that they had and the I suppose benefits that they would have to their team. Got put together like I say, a squad that some would say overachieved, potentially did overachieve with budgets and things like that, but that squad was full of good players that were given a platform and opportunity, and they performed fantastically well and deserved to get promoted. And they've started this season with a different squad in much a similar vein in terms of their style and their philosophy. Looking forward to the game. I'm sure, well, I know Corey's looking forward to going back there.
What do you make of the job that Scott Lindsay's done at Crawley? Because as you say, probably surpassed expectations, excuse me, with the season that they had last season, and obviously looking to do it again this year.
Yeah, done a brilliant job. Was fortunate enough to spend an evening with him or in his company at the LMA Awards over the summer. And we chatted and spoke about things. He's done a fantastic job, and what he's had to do over the summer, if you like, is rebuild his squad. We had that opportunity, or we had the decision to do that probably through choice. He's probably had it to do it less through choice, because a lot of his players that were effective and really stand out for him last year got picked up, and people made decisions to go to I suppose maximise the opportunities they had in front of them and move away from Crawley and go to different clubs. That's a challenge within itself. But I think what they have done is taken players that are good players, that have maybe lost their way a little bit, and being given a platform and a style and coached really, really well to show the best bits of them. And if you get that bit right, then the likelihood is at a football club, other football clubs from higher up are always going to be looking enviously and sort of saying, we always thought he was a good player, and now he's been given a platform to show he's a good player and show off his best attributes. That tends to lead to players moving on and being, like I say, being picked off. And if he can continue to do that, then from his own perspective as a coach, then it won't be too far in the distance that the same happens with him. And we all aspire to manage at the highest and coach at the highest possible level. And I'm sure he'll get an opportunity further down the line for that to be the case.
Is that ever a concern for you here, in terms of, obviously you've performed at such a high level for such a long time, in terms of that interest coming from higher up for your players?
No, because that's why we're here. We in football and this industry. In my eyes, the aim has always been to get better, and that's personally, and it's my job as a coach. The clue's in the title, that I've got to coach the players to make them the best versions of themselves. Now, if our players aren't getting spoke about and our players aren't attracting interest from higher up, then you can have the argument that we're not doing the job to the best of our ability. So that's always something that you want to try. That becomes, in my eyes, a good problem. And from a football club perspective, that's something that we've all made the decision. We're very aligned in terms of that's the way that we have to go. We've gone younger. We've paid transfer fees for players, and quite obviously we all hope to make profit on those transfer fees, which means that we have to give players the opportunity, we have to give players the information, we have to coach them, we have to make them better, and then we have to give them a stage and a platform to go and show that's the case. And is it a good problem if we're I suppose receiving big bids from other clubs for some of our players? Some may see it as a problem, but it's one of those. It's a good problem because we don't have to do certain things. We're in control of that, but it shows that we're going in the right way and that we're doing a good job in terms of the plan that's been set in place for everybody.
Appreciate your time, Dave. Thank you.
Welcome. Cheers. Thank you.